Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. So today's story is going to be pretty crazy. I have recorded this now. This is my second time recording because I was recording the first time and my computer decided to just going to stop working. So let's hope it doesn't happen in the middle of this recording. So anyway, this is going to be about the time that I saw a pretty crazy fight that ended in somebody getting knocked out. So the story all takes place back in my freshman year. I don't remember what year this was, and because I've been out of high school for 2 years, and I completely just lost track of time. I can't believe it's already been 2 years since I've been out of high school. But yeah, so anyway, this story all takes place back in my freshman year, just like I said. And there were these two kids. We're going to call the first one Kyle, and we'll call the second one Xander. So we have Kyle and Xander. And Kyle and Xander, they hate each other. They had the most hatred for each other. They couldn't be friends even if they tried to be friends. It was that bad that they just hate each other. Now, I don't know where this hatred came from. I don't know if it was something personal that happened to one of them, or it was just they just didn't like each other because of, I don't know the reason. I really couldn't come up with anything. Maybe it was over a girl. Maybe it was over, an argument. Maybe they used to be friends and they had a falling out. Who knows, honestly? I still don't know to this day. So, anyway, this story all takes place on a very normal day. I wake up, I get ready for school, I get to school, and I go to my first period. Now, I had first period with both Kyle and Xander. So, they sat away from each other. They sat on complete opposite sides, and occasionally, whenever they saw each other in the hallway, on the way to class, they would, talk shit to each other, push each other around, stuff like that. But they never actually got into a fight. So I thought that they were just, I thought they were all bark, no bite. They would never actually fight. They would just talk shit to each other. But I was so wrong. Now Kyle was taller and more, buff. I guess we're freshmen here. We're not buff like that, but. Kyle was a bit, on the more buff side, I guess, you could say. So, class ends, right? I get up, and I'm walking out to go to my next period. That's what I'm supposed to be doing. And Kyle and Xander, they walk out, and they walk out at the same time. And Xander walked out first. Now, I look back, right? Xander walked out first, and then Kyle. And Kyle decided he was just going to push him. So he pushes Xander, and Xander falls to the ground. And he gets up. He's like, yo, what the fuck, man? What the fuck? And he's like, next time do something about it, pussy. And Xander, with no hesitation, gets up, gets in his face, says, do that shit again, right? And it doesn't even give him a chance to do it again. Just straight puts his fist back and just hits him right in the face. Like right between his eyes and his nose, right there, right where a unibrow would be. Punch him right there, and Kyle just falls to the ground and just becomes unresponsive. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, holy shit, because I couldn't fucking believe what I just saw. I couldn't believe that I saw somebody get knocked out. And after this, the teacher comes over, is like, stop fighting, which they stop fighting because Kyle's knocked out. And I'm fucking surprised by this because Kyle is more buff than Xander, which is why he fell to the ground at first. So I'm very surprised that Kyle got knocked out. But I guess that Xander, he obviously had a lot of built-up rage against Kyle, and this was the point. This was the turning point where he just let it all out and just he let everything out. And I think Kyle learned his lesson from that. So after this, they get the nurse over there, they get him up. He's getting up, some of his friends are getting him up, and he starts bleeding, from the middle of his what's it called, where the unibrow is. So, they get him over to the nurse's office, stuff like that. And, Xander just walks away, just gets his stuff back and just walks away and goes to his next class. And I'm still standing there just fucking stunned. And I'm like, holy shit. So I go to my next class, and I'm sitting in class with my other friend. Now, this friend, he doesn't need a name, but I tell him, I'm like, yo, Xander and Kyle? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, well, Xander just, he let all out and punched Kyle right in the middle of his head and knocked him the fuck out. And he's like, "Holy shit, for real?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Holy shit, they're probably going to get suspended or something." And I'm like, "Probably, yeah." And after that, the rest of the day was normal. I didn't see Xander or Kyle for the rest of the day. Now, it turns out that the friend I actually told about what would happen, he comes up to me the next day and he's like, "Yo, guess what happened?" And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Kyle and Xander, they both got suspended." And I'm like, "Holy shit." And I'm not fucking surprised by this at all. I'm not surprised they got suspended. I'm not surprised, at all. And after that, they come back to school after a while. It was either 1 or 2 weeks. And after this, they come back and they don't say a fucking word to each other. They walk completely separate from each other. They don't even look at each other while in class. They are staring right at the board, actually doing their work. And whenever class would end, one of them will walk out and the other person will walk out right after, not right after them, but a few seconds after, just to give the other person time to walk away, and they get up and walk to their class. Now I think Kyle, he learned his lesson to not mess with Xander, because they didn't mess with each other, and for the rest of the school year they really never mess with each other at all. Now I have another story that's somewhat like this. So I will be telling that at some point, but I figured I'd tell this one first. The other story about another school fight actually happened between my friend and another person. I don't know if I've told that story yet, actually. Now that I think about it, I might have already told it. I'm going to look back and see if I told it yet, because that'll be another story to tell. But I might have already, I might have not. But yeah, that's basically the end of the story. Xander really showed who's boss, I guess. that was so cringe to say. But yeah, that's basically the end of the story. If you guys did enjoy, please be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you all for watching, and have a great day. And I will see you all later. Don't try to bring me down, cause your whip can't make a sound. I know I make you mad, the way I've been moving way too fast. Joyride all the way, hoes be flashing me all day. That's Snap.